Welcome to a wonderful journey where we will be deciding once and for all is Alias really the best show of all time, or is it, well, shall we say, we'll be doing this by rewatching the show and taking rigorous notes. On top of that, we'll also be analyzing the deep themes of every episode. Themes like, when you buy to the show, why don't they also give you a bucket to help scoop your brain up after it blows your mind and you have to scoop your brain out of your ear gunk and put it back in your dome? Does Sydney have a spine made out of metal? Can her and Vaughn kiss, like, a little, at least? Is Daddy Warbucks a bad guy or a good guy? Let's jump into it. Sydney and Dixon are in a van getting ready to go, and Sydney looks at Dixon and says, "Tell me that I'm pretty. I need you to tell me that I'm freaking pretty, Dixon. Tell me right now." And then they get to where they're going, and she walks in, and she has to get close enough to a guy so that they can scan his key card and make a copy of it or some bullcrap. I don't really understand. And while doing that, she realizes that, frick, Anna Espinosa's here. And during this time, I did have to pause the show just so everybody knows and have a little bit of a PTSD flashback to how scared and sad I was during the time when I very first realized that Anna maybe could beat Sydney, and Sydney lost a fight and got her butt kicked. That was the darkest moment in my life. Sydney strikes up a conversation with the guy, and as she's talking to him, Dixon comes and he goes, "Hey, yeah, you got the information," and then she kind of just actively just walks right away. And then Dixon gives her the card that they made, and he goes, "Hey, tell the guards that people are trying to steal." She goes, "But won't that help you get caught?" And he goes, "Yeah, but it'll also help Anna get caught, and screw Anna. She's so mean. She sucks." And then they do that, and Sydney walks by, and she sees Anna, and Anna starts to get fight by these guards, and she's kind of kicking their butt, but then one just grabs her and has her in a chokehold, and Sydney just walks by and kind of winks at her, and then she walks into the room. Anna breaks out, and then she runs up and she tries to get at Sydney, and Sydney does the cool mirror thing where not mirror, frick. Does the thing where she kisses the window and leaves the lipstick print because Anna's on the other side. But then Anna has a superpower essentially for this stupid great show. That is called gun. Anna takes a gun places, which freaking Sydney has not figured out yet. So she kind of just starts to shoot through the glass, and Sydney has to grab the clock and run and jump out the window, and it turns into a whole chase scene when it really didn't need to. But Anna has the stupid power of gun. But even though Anna uses her gun to shoot through the thing, she still chases after Sydney and is not able to catch her because Anna she's the worst. Anna could eat a Chipotle-sized burrito of just full of bees. Daddy Warbucks then has a meeting with Weasel, and he says something along the lines of, "Hey, are you gonna handle Rocket?" And he's like, "I'm working on the whole Rocket thing." And he's like, "Well, are you willing to kill him?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll freaking kill him if I have to. You think I'm a little baby about this? No, I'm a big boy. I got my big boy pants on. I'll kill the mess out of Rocket if I need to." And at this point in the show, I have one question, and it is, does Weasel know that Daddy Warbucks knows that SD6 is bad guys? Or is the kayfabe of this that Daddy Warbucks is a good guy? But, like, he thinks he's a good guy, I guess? Teach, I need an extension on this paper. Pretty hot, sure. After complaining to her teacher, she's walking to her car, and she notices that there's a guy who's been following her all for multiple days. And she's like, this guy's gotta be for K directed or something. So she runs, well, she doesn't run, she saunters on, and she cuts between these two cars, and he goes and he's looking for her, and he can't find her. And then she freaking stunts him, and kicks him, and then she takes his gun from him, and she puts it, and she acts like she's gonna shoot him in the wheel. But of course, this adds one more to our running total of butts kicked by Sydney Bristow, adding that number to 28. Got the numbers right this time, because I decided to be less dumb, and I thanks, Saxon. Sydney then has a special hangout sesh where she gets yelled at for attacking the guy who worked for SC6 and was actually just kind of watching her. Then Daddy Warbucks says, "Hey, we need to have a daddy-daughter hangout sesh at work, of course, because kind of screw you in your personal life, you dumb idiot, and I hate you because you think that I'm actively a supervillain for every other episode." He then has a special pin, he turns it on, and it makes the monitoring system in the whole SD6 warehouse facility, all the stuff stops so that they can speak freely, and he essentially says, "Hey, they're going to do a super kind of lie detector test on you. You need to have Vaughn get you the heck ready for that because bad liar, you dummy." Rocket just freaking gets yelled at for not running this story, and the number of times that people are just kind of mean to Rocket Raccoon in the show is unreal. Like, he's an attractive person. People are mean to attractive people. It's one of the very, 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 very few things about this show that is unrealistic and hard for me to buy. Cindy's having a really hard time getting all of the lie detector stuff to work, so Vaughn tells her, hey, it's okay, bud, I believe in you. And we've literally only been trying for like 3 questions, so it's not that big of a deal. And then the next question that he asks her for her just supposed to lie about is, are you romantically interested in anybody? Ooh, freaking Vaughn spilling that tea, guys. Just like all over the dang place. And Sydney goes, no, and then it shows that she's clearly lying, and Vaughn, and I say, quote, I don't have the quote here. She says, ask the question again, I need to give an answer to it. And he said, you already did, and it was very good. It wasn't good. She was very clearly lying. But why was it good, Vaughn? Freaking, just kiss already, like a little bit, guys. Guys, please. For your biggest fan? She's on the mission where she goes and has to talk to the descendant of a very, very old man who helped Rambaldi build a clock. And he's the only person that Rambaldi ever the old man that he's a descendant of is the only person that Rambaldi ever collaborated with. Just freaking Eddie Burback and Gus Johnson style, or Drew Gooden and Danny Gonzalez. Then he gets there and she approaches the man and she's like, hey, this clock's super jacked the heck up, and for some reason, since you're a descendant and you went into the family trade of clocks, because that's all you guys can ever actually do, can you help me with this? And then I'll know more about Rambaldi. And while this happens, he accidentally, he says yes, and she's like, hey, why was this guy the only person that Rambaldi ever worked with, and why did he want to work with Rambaldi? And he goes, well, I did it because Rambaldi said that I would have an impossibly long life, and that I would know exactly how I was going to die. And at this point, excuse me while I just pick up my brain, because this person was granted super life, because this show's buck freaking wild, and I don't really understand what's going on, and I don't know how to feel about anything that happens in this show. We're gonna kind of cut some of the jokey joke bullcrap stuff aside real quick. Literally what happens in the next few seconds in this show is the man stands up and gets sniped for a sniper bullet that was meant for Sydney by K-Directorate. Anna storms the building. Sydney grabs the now repaired clock that she already beat Anna to, before. She then runs away. She climbs to the top of a building and hooks in a rope that is roughly 100 feet long, and the building's roughly 106 feet off the ground. She just jumps off the building. It's not a bungee rope at all. Stops. Metal spine. Doesn't break at all. She runs away while she gets shot at. She forgets how her special stride works. She then leaves from that to just go have a hangout session, complain about daddy issues with her friend. I don't know how the show wants me to feel about anything, even a little bit. Hey guys, I just want to apologize for getting as grumpy as I did before. I wasn't really in my place, and I'm sorry. While she's hanging out with Franny at home, she realizes that Franny spilled some milk on her mom's books that she found. And then she tries to dry off the books with a candle, which is a little bizarre, and not like a hairdryer or kind of cinema or fan or anything else, but a freaking candle, because that's what you want to use close to first print rare old books. And she realizes that next to the candlelight there's secret codes there, which of course makes her think that now her dad is again 100% a bad guy and 100% responsible for the death of her mother, and that he's just literally a supervillain of sorts. So she goes and she complains to Vaughn about this, and Vaughn goes, it's okay, babe. And she's like, thanks, boo. I can't wait for them to be an actual couple. Rocket freaking just gets dunked on a little bit more, because that's half of what this show is. Screw Rocket Raccoon. Guy sucks. They have another briefing where, we are Marshall! Tells them about how this works with the different Rambaldi devices working together in cohesion. Otherwise, they're kind of just useless, and that's the genius. Part of the genius of them is that together they mean something, but apart they don't, which is kind of like any sort of code ever. They find out that if you put the golden sun that she got from another episode inside the clock and you set it to a certain time, then it's a star map just like the Alien AJ song. And then they need to go on that thing. So Sydney's like, okay, cool, I'll go on that thing. And then right before they do, oh my goodness, I can't freaking believe it, she has to go and do that lie detector thing now. So she goes and does the lie detector thing, but she's super sure that she failed and she's really scared and nervous about it. However, the guy has to go through and review everything, so Sydney and Dixon, they both leave to go on their mission. They hike up into the mountains, and while they're up there, they find a giant manhole cover thing, and she climbs onto a cover while Dixon just gets ready to do something else. I don't freaking remember. And then she's down there, and she crawls around in these tunnels, and she finds the journals they've been looking for all this time. Sydney finds it. She didn't even need the map. I'm so psyched for Sydney to have found the artifact. It makes me so happy. It makes me so happy. But then my dreams get crushed because freaking Anna shows up and shoots, just double taps her right in the freaking chest, and then thank goodness that she was wearing her actual vest. So she rolls around on the ground crying a little bit, but then not our hero. You think our hero's just gonna cry? No. Babies cry, and this show is not for babies, and Sydney's not a baby. So she gets up and she gets into a tussle match on this very high rope ladder thing to try to get the journal back from Anna. Because freaking guess it, she kicks Anna's freaking butt. Sorry, I got a phone call. Hold on. What's up? What do you mean? What do you... No, Michael. Michael, no, we talked about this when we watched the episode together. No, she beats up Anna. Michael, what are you talking about? No, yeah, I know I had to pee, but of course she beats up Anna and the episode ends. She just beats up Anna. What do you... Anna kicks her off the thing and she falls... What the... I don't even want to watch this show anymore. Freaking every episode ends sad. It's all bullcrap. I'm done.